guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kimar, and I'm back with another video, and I have some explaining to do. I have been gone for a very long time. I think the last video I posted was like maybe April, maybe the end of March. And yeah, I don't know, a lot started coming up. I started to kind of feel uninspired with my content. I knew I needed to do a revamp on this channel, and I'm happy to say the revamp is here. So I am starting a new series on my channel. This will be 100% my videos besides my shorts. I'll still keep doing my YouTube shorts, but I will be trying celebrity makeup brands. And so Kimar from editing here, I just realized I said celebrity makeup brands. I do not mean only makeup brands. I meant celebrity brands, period. I don't know what was going on in my mind, but just celebrity brands, not celebrity makeup brands. Okay, continue, Kimara. Not just your traditional celebrities, your Beyoncés, Rihanna's, things of that sort. I'm talking drag queens, I'm talking influencers, I'm talking chefs, I'm talking anybody that has some type of power, influence, fame. I will be trying their brands on this channel. I'm so excited to start this. It's gonna be super expensive, but I think one of my strong suits on this channel has always been my ability to review and be unbiased. I'm super excited to do this, and today we have our first brand up on the list, and it is, drum roll please, What's for Dessert by Claire Saffitz. Now, why this is first on the list? No particular reason. I literally wrote down 60 brands and then I just randomly put them in my calendar, and this one just happens to be up first. But I've been watching Claire for a very long time. So first and foremost, who is Claire Saffitz? According to Wikipedia, Claire Saffitz is an American food writer, chef, and YouTube personality. I personally know her from recreating like recipes on Bon Appetit. I think that's where she used to work. Then she went off on her own, started her own channel, wrote these cookbooks, and that's how we got here. But if you ever seen like the pastry chef recreates videos, that's who that is. She does that. Got millions of views. I'm sure if you've made it to this video, you've probably seen them. I always want to learn how to do things, new things in the kitchen. Just personally for me, I want to be able to make good food. I love to eat. I want to be able to make good food, and she's always seemed really smart to me. So I was like, I got to do this. Let's go ahead and start with the price of this book. So I got this book from Better World Books. If you're unfamiliar with Better World Books, it's kind of like an online book thrifting site. I've gotten a couple of books from them though. They have like used and new books. I got this one used, but it literally does not look used at all. Like it was under used like new, but I think this book is literally new. I feel like somebody just bought this book and donated it. There's not one booger on any of the pages. This book looks, it's in immaculate condition. Like besides the page that I messed up because I was using it, there's literally nothing. It came with, I believe, this cute little, I've ordered from them twice. This is the only time I've gotten a bookmark, if I can find where it is. It's like thin, and this book is so thick. So yeah, Better World Books. It's pretty cool. The price that I got this book for is $9.02. So hey, I don't know how much it retails for. I'll put it on the screen. But $9.02 for this book that is super thick, like super duper thick, not bad. And then they kind of have the thing like how Amazon has that when you spend over a certain amount, you can get free shipping. So I also got another book that I'll also be reviewing on here, just not today. So the order process was pretty smooth. I ordered it on Tuesday, June 17th, and I received it on Saturday, June 21st. So what is that, 4 days? Not bad. And Better World Books, I don't know where they're headquartered out of, but I'm in Georgia. So, and I don't think they're anywhere near Georgia. So that wasn't bad at all. I would say this was a 10 out of 10 purchase from Better World Books. This is my second or third time purchasing with them. The most like raggedy-ish looking book I got was Barack Obama's The Audacity of Hope. I mean, that book was written in 2004. So it's not like the book isn't like dirty, but it's like brown. The pages are brown. So this was in really good condition. So I would say 10 out of 10 10 out of 10 ordering experience. I went through the book, and I also went through her YouTube channel. So when I was going through the book to try to pick a recipe, I know that I don't have any baking experience, honestly. Now, I do want to say I am not a baker. I just don't do that. So this recipe in her book, it serves 12. The difficulty is very easy. It says the active time is 35 minutes, but it takes a little bit of time in the oven. Go back on my channel. I have a video where I try to make cakes. This is like last year, back in March. Oh, this is a crumb coat. This is a crumb coat. So what we do at this point, us people that bake, we take it, we put it in the fridge, we let the crumb coat chill, and then we go back and actually ice it. So don't be alarmed here. Us people that bake, we know what this process is. Us real bakers, but I understand how an amateur, somebody new to this, you wouldn't really get it. So I made a bunch of cakes. it was kind of disastrous. Like, it was okay, but I'm not a baker, right? And I was using box mix back then. So I wanted to find the easiest recipe. And then I also wanted to find a recipe that she also did on her YouTube channel, because she's done some of the recipes out of her books on her YouTube channel. So I was like, if I can find a recipe and a video to go with that recipe, I can't fail. The recipe that I chose was the blueberry buckle. I'll give y'all a close up of that. I chose the blueberry buckle. On the page it says it serves 12. The difficulty is very easy. Active time is 35 minutes. Total time is 2 hours and 20 minutes plus time to cool. And then special equipment is a 10-inch springform pan and a hand mixer. She also has a video for this recipe on her YouTube channel. I will leave that linked below. So I watched that video the day before, or maybe 2 days before. Was it the day before, 2 days before? I think it was maybe 2 days before I did the recipe. I watched the video, really took notes, made sure I knew what I was doing before I started. And then I was ready to go. I did need to get a couple of things. I had a hand mixer at home. The 10-inch springform pan I did not have, and neither did Walmart. So I had to get a 9-inch springform pan. And then I also needed to get like a flexible spatula. I needed to get measuring cups because ours are just like old and need to be thrown away anyways. So I had to get measuring cups. So all in all cost me like $20 something from Walmart. And then I obviously had to get all of the ingredients to actually bake this. Streusel is basically, or not a streusel, a buckle is basically like a cake with like a streusel on top, if that makes sense. I ain't no baker, y'all. Here are the ingredients that I had to get. Keep in mind, the only thing I had at the house was the eggs and the brown sugar. That was it. I had to get everything else from the store. So it cost me almost $45 to get everything. So for the streusel, what you need is 1 cup of all-purpose flour, a half a cup packed light brown sugar, a half a teaspoon of Diamond Crystal kosher salt, or 1/4 teaspoon of Morton kosher salt. I have the Morton. I don't know what Diamond Crystal is, but I just felt like the city I live in wouldn't have it. I really didn't even give it a look. A half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 stick of unsalted butter, cut into 1/2-inch pieces at room temperature, 1 cup of cornflakes. That's for the streusel. For the cake, you need melted butter for the pan, 1 2/3 cups all-purpose flour, 1/3 cup coarse ground yellow cornmeal, 2 teaspoons Diamond Crystal kosher salt or 1 teaspoon Morton kosher salt, 1 1/2 teaspoon baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, 1 cup granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons finely grated lemon zest, 10 tablespoons unsalted butter at room temperature, 2 large eggs at room temperature, 1/2 cup buttermilk at room temperature, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 1.5 pounds fresh or frozen but not thawed blueberries, 2 dry pints, about 4 cups. So I do have some of the ingredients already out because I needed to put them at room temperature. So this is the 1 stick of unsalted butter. That's what that is. This is the 10 tablespoons of unsalted butter at room temperature. And then this is the 2 eggs. They're not large eggs, they're medium, but they're what I had. If you know anything about how much eggs cost, I'm not buying no more. The recipe. First things first, I had to make the streusel. By far, the easiest part of the recipe. First, I'm going to get a cup of all-purpose flour. I've already washed my hands and everything. I can probably put this right into the bowl. I typically like to get all of my ingredients out and then, but I would just be creating extra dishes, I think. So I think I should just put them directly into the bowl. So I'm going to use one of this. It's not quite a bowl, but it'll do. I'm going to put 1 cup of all-purpose flour. This is gold medal premium quality enriched bleach pre-sifted all-purpose flour. But I hate flour, like the way it's packaged. So that's about 1 cup, I guess. All you have to do is literally in a bowl, whisk together the flour, the brown sugar, the salt, and the cinnamon, which I didn't do that actually. I put everything in before, like without whisking together that stuff. So y'all are watching somebody with no baking experience do this. So this is gonna be a real test on if, oh God. See, like I'm just dropping stuff everywhere. I think that's good. Okay, so this is a teaspoon. This is a teaspoon, a whole teaspoon. I just need 1/4 of that. That doesn't seem like very much, but okay. 1 stick of unsalted butter. So this is this right here at room temperature. So I did this before I did my makeup so that I can get to room temperature. I didn't do the cinnamon either. So I need 1 cup of ground cinnamon. Not 1 cup, that's a lot. I need a 1/2 teaspoon. 1 cup is crazy. And then she mixed all of this stuff up before adding in the cornflakes. She said something about moisture, blah, 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 bakery talk. So in the book, it says, in a medium bowl, whisk together flour, brown sugar, salt, cinnamon until combined. Add the butter to the bowl. Oh, I should have whisked together the other stuff. See, this is why you should listen. Add the butter to the bowl. Mash with a fork until pieces are blended. Okay, so I think it should be fine still. Then use your fingertips and add the cornflakes. So I think it should still be fine, but I should have actually mixed the other ingredients before I put the butter in. Because then after you whisk it together, you're supposed to put the butter and then crumble it. In the book, it says do it with a fork. On her video, she did it with her hands. I found it easier to do it with my hands. And it says just mash everything together with a fork. In her video, I think she did it with her hands. I don't really like having dirty hands. Since I didn't mix everything from the jump, I'm trying to like mix it together now while I'm doing this. She got it to like a really good crumble. I think my butter still may be like a little too cold. I have to get in here with the hands. See, now the butter almost feels like too soft. It smells good already, just like the butter and the cinnamon and everything. You do it until you kind of get like a crumbly mixture, and then you crush up the cornflakes, 1 cup of cornflakes. I literally got this brand of cornflakes, the Kroger brand. 1 cup of that, lightly crushed. So maybe I'll put it in like a Ziploc bag. So that just like doesn't seem like a lot. It doesn't seem like as much as she had in her video, but in her video, she said she crushed them with her hands though. Put them in and then you just kind of want to toss them to mix. You don't want to do like that. You want to do like that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and then when you're done with that, then you're supposed to add the cornflakes at the end. I would clean my hands, but I still got to go through. And then she said on this part, it's more of like you don't want to keep crushing it. It's more of like just to toss it to mix everything together. Okay, and then she says once it's mixed, I think you can just set it to the side. I'm gonna move this over here. That is our streusel. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Okay, so now against my better judgment, I am gonna clean up the area just so we can get into making the cake on like a clean surface because this is kind of stressing me out. But I know I'm saying against my better judgment because I know it's simply gonna get dirty all over again. And you put that to the side. That's the streusel. That's it. The easiest part. It gets crazy when it gets down to the cake. So for the cake, preheat the oven to 350 and arrange an oven rack in the center position. Brush the bottom and the sides of the 10-inch springform pan with butter. I think that's the center. And then preheat it to 350. So I'm gonna melt some unsalted butter because that's what the recipe has been calling for so far. And I'm gonna do, I don't know, I guess maybe about a tablespoon unsalted butter. And then with the parchment paper, so I'm pretty sure I have parchment paper. I don't know how to cut it like how like Claire did. Like she did I don't know. So I'm gonna try to cut it in a circle. I'm just tearing it because I pulled out a pair of kitchen scissors and they look so questionable. I will be using them to cut shoelaces or something. I have to brush it with the butter anyway, so I'm not tripping. Now, I melted the butter. I should have just got it softened and did that. Maybe I shouldn't have melted it because I don't think in her video, I don't think it was melted. Okay, I'm gonna just put it on the bottom and then use a napkin to smooth it around the sides. I probably should have just softened it though. And then this will have to do as well. She was like, make sure you don't have any air pockets, that the parchment is kind of sticking to the bottom. I think, all things considered, that's a good job I just did. But either way, the cake came out of the pan. So I don't think it matters that much. If you make a little mistake like that, I don't think it matters. And then you mix the dry ingredients. So in the bowl, you got to mix the flour, the cornmeal, the salt, the baking powder, and the baking soda. And you put all of that to the side. The dry ingredients are the flour, the cornmeal, salt, baking powder, and baking soda. So I need 1 2/3 cups of all-purpose flour. This is 1 cup. I'll use 2 of the 1/3. Oh, 1/3, 2/3. So I need 1/3 of cup of coarse cornmeal. So I got the Kroger yellow cornmeal, and I'm just gonna hope it's coarse. Ovens preheated. 2 teaspoons of the Diamond Kosher or 1 teaspoon of the Morton's. And then I need 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder. So the baking powder that I have is just the Kroger baking powder. Spoon and a touch of baking powder. Kroger baking powder, and I need 1 1/2 teaspoons. And then 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm trying to be really like on the money with this. I don't know if you've ever, if you guys watching this have ever like tried to bake a cake. I have before. It was disastrous because you really have to be on your stuff. So then I'm supposed to whisk that together. I don't think I have a whisk. So I'm just gonna like use a spoon. Can I do that? Is that illegal? Oh, look at me, looking like a real homemaker. Looks all to be mixed in there. I'm kind of like going based on the cornmeal because it's the only thing that looks different. Set this aside with the streusel. After that, then you cream the sugar and you cream the sugar, the zest, and the butter. And there's a whole page in here in the back of the book about how to cream butter and sugar together. I didn't read it. I knew it was there and I did not read it. Because I was like, I just want to be able to do the recipe. Like, I don't want to have to do all this research. I've already done enough research. In a large bowl, what you do is you combine the sugar and the lemon zest, and then you massage it together until it's like wet sand and you can smell the lemon. And then you add the butter, and then you use the hand mixer and you literally just mix like crazy. You start on low and then you speed it up until it gets like creamy and fluffy and light. And then after that, you beat in the eggs with the hand mixer. This is the part that it gets difficult in though. So, okay, let's get the bowl. It says a large bowl. And then I'm supposed to be adding 1 cup of granulated sugar. So the granulated sugar I have it looks generic. It's a Smart Way. It doesn't say Kroger brand. I guess this is name brand, girl. I splurged. I just need 1 cup of that. 1 cup of granulated sugar. And then I don't know how much lemon zest it was. 2 teaspoons of finely grated lemon zest. She zested in her video about 1 lemon. I'm looking for the cheese grater because that's the closest thing I have to a lemon zester. Okay, so I did locate the cheese grater. The sound quality may be a little bit different because I had to unplug the mic, but I need to charge the camera, so that was kind of a little bit more important than having the mic on. I think it was 2 teaspoons. So I'm gonna use a cheese grater and we're just gonna hope for the best. I don't like holding it though. I'm gonna put it in this bowl. Okay, that's working, I think. I actually don't know if anything's happening. No, I don't think anything's happening there. Okay, nothing's happening on that. Okay, so it's gotta be one of these sides. I see some skin coming off. I think I'm gonna have to like take a knife and scrape in there. This lemon was also like, I be freezing lemons so I can have them for longer. Check out my my juicing lemons videos, like my juicer videos. You'll see why I freeze lemons. So anyways, I be freezing them so that they last longer. Cause I always like this is another ingredient I didn't have to buy. I already had it. But anyways, when you thaw them, they're kind of like a little bit wet. I think that's what's going on with this lemon. It's just kind of wet. Now I do have some frozen ones. I wonder if those will be better for zesting. I'm gonna do another lemon just because I don't think that one like zested enough. That doesn't look like 2 tablespoons. This one's like even worse. You just have to really get in there. It's starting to come off now. Y'all know I was personally victimized by this grater in another recipe. I'll have it up below, up above, if you want to go check it out. So I'm really cautious of this thing. That seems like enough. I think this is the last time I'll do that, so I'll put that in the sink. So then it says mix it until it's fragrant and looks like wet sand. Chat, do you see wet sand? Is it giving fragrant wet sand? So I'm supposed to add the butter. This is the 10 tablespoons. Yeah, 10 tablespoons of unsalted butter. So I'm supposed to add that into the mixture. And then I'm supposed to beat that with a hand mixer on medium-low speed until combined. Okay, I think that's pretty combined. But then it says go from increase to medium high and beat, pausing occasionally to scrape down the sides of the bowl with a flexible spatula until the mixture is pale and fluffy. Okay. Pause. I scrape the sides down. There's not much going on the side. Okay, so I think that's good. I think that's good. Now I'm starting to wish I would turn on the video again just to be sure, but it looks pretty creamy, pretty pale, pretty fluffy. I think I'm supposed to put everything together. Oh, I'm supposed to beat in the eggs. So what I'm supposed to do is beat the eggs in one at a time on medium-high until smooth, then continue to beat until the mixture is very light, thick, and creamy. About 2 minutes longer. So beat the eggs in one at a time. Here are my eggs. There's a lot going on here. Here are my eggs. I'll beat in my second egg. Scrape down the sides. It looks delicious. That I will say. And then you make the batter. This part was the part that I thought was going to be super hard, but it actually was not that bad. So you start, I watched her video, you start and you end with the dry ingredient. You put in a third of the dry mixture that you made, that you set to the side. Beat that in until you can't see it no more. Then you put in half of the buttermilk. Beat that in until it's all mixed in. Then you put in another third of the dry ingredients. Beat that in. And then you put in the rest of the buttermilk and the vanilla. Beat that in. And then you end with the last little bit of the flour. Sounds hard, but it's really not. A half a cup? It seemed like she used more. And it is at room temperature. It's been out for actually a concerning amount of time. Not concerning. I put it out at the same time I put the butter and stuff out. And this is the Pet Whole cultured buttermilk. I'm doing like a third of the dry ingredients. You start, so I watched the video, you start and you end with the dry ingredients. Start with a third of the dry ingredients, then you put half of the buttermilk, then some more of the dry ingredients, then the other half of the buttermilk, then the last bit of the dry ingredients. Y'all see how you listening? I'm confused on when to add the vanilla. It says add them, I guess you add it with the second set of buttermilk. Okay, so here we go. A third of the dry ingredients. And then half of the buttermilk. It seemed like about half. Then half of the remaining, or another third. And then the rest of the buttermilk. And then as I understand the recipe to be saying, add the vanilla extract now. Okay, and then the last little bit of dry ingredients. Okay, so it's saying then now I need to switch, now that all the batter has disappeared, I need to switch to a regular spatula. Scrape the sides down and like fold it in, make sure everything's mixed in. Once you do that, all you do is fold in the blueberries. You put it in the pan and then you bake it for an hour. You put the streusel on top, you bake it for an hour and 40 minutes. So I need to make sure everything is all folded in. It looks like it's right. It looks like her video. And it says it will be thick. So it says add the blueberries now, and it's gonna seem like a lot of blueberries. I need to actually rinse the blueberries and everything. They were supposed to be 1 pound. I don't think they are though. So I'm gonna rinse these blueberries real quick. But these were supposed to be 2 1-pound things. It said they gave me exactly what I wanted, no substitution. I'm just gonna assume these are what I asked for. I don't know if the blueberries being wet is gonna affect it at all. I think it should be fine. I'm gonna add them in and then fold gently to incorporate, trying not to crush them. It does seem like a lot for the batter, so maybe this is the right amount. I got fresh instead of frozen for really no particular reason. Like, it was just the one I could find in the measurements I needed. It did say in the video if you use the frozen ones, your batter might turn purple, blue, you know. But it's okay. And she said frozen and fresh, it really doesn't make a difference. So it says, now I just have to assemble and bake. So I'm gonna take my little pan that I prepared ages ago, because this took me way longer than it probably should. Like, this is supposed to take like 45 minutes. I feel like I've been in here for at least an hour. Like, and then I'm just scooping the batter in there, and it said make sure you don't have a lot of air pockets. This actually shakes out to be quite a lot of batter. More than it kind of looks like when I was mixing it, but I guess the bowl is so big. Also, this pan is 1 inch smaller than the type of pan that's recommended, but like I said, I literally couldn't find it. Like, I was all on Walmart.com looking for it. And I don't even like shopping at Walmart, but I was like, if anybody has it, it's Walmart. If they don't have it, then it's probably not out there. Maybe I'm gonna try like Hobby Lobby or something, but. So this is gonna take quite a lot of time to bake and to cool. I'm trying to get like every little bit. Should I taste it? Should I taste the batter? I know it's like got raw eggs and stuff, but should I just taste it? And then now I just have to add the streusel. This has created so many dishes, but it's gonna take so long to actually make and cool that I'm gonna have time to run the dishwasher and all of that by the time it's done. And here's the thing. So I feel like Claire Saffitz, what she thinks is easy versus what the average non-baker thinks is easy, like this has not been easy, even if it turns out well, which this kind of doesn't look right at the top. I'm not gonna lie. It looks a little too powdery, but I'm going with it. And now I have to bake it for an hour and 40 minutes. The work I've been putting in, y'all been getting neglected over here. This is what it looks like. And it's going in, it's quite heavy. Hour and 40 minutes. Okay, now it's time to look at this bowl. I'm not gonna lie, very lemony, buttery. It tastes like store mix, but like in a good way. If the cake tastes anything like this, 10 out of 10. Am I a baker? 10 out of 10, make it just for this. I wonder if I'll get sick. We'll see. This thing is gonna be in the oven so long, if I get sick, I'll be sick before it gets out the oven. Let me clean up and then we'll be back in like 2 hours. It seems like forever, and it seems like when you're baking it, it literally seems like this is done. Like you can smell it after like 30 minutes and it's like, should I take this out? Like, I don't want it to burn, but hour and 40 minutes, I did what I was told and it came out perfectly. Now, what I will say, when I was doing it, it felt like it was taking me longer than the 35 minutes of active time. Like, but when I went back and watched or just looked at the video link, it only took about 35, like it really only took about 35 minutes. And I am a beginner baker. So at first I was like, this ain't beginner friendly, but I think it really was. And let me tell you, I tasted it and let me just insert the footage. So now is the moment we have all been waiting for. I am going to try the blueberry buckles. So first I need to get my hands washed and then we're gonna cut into it. The pan is like still warm, even though I took this out literally like 4 o'clock and it is almost 7 o'clock now. The pan is still very, very warm. The top is still warm. I had a napkin over it. The napkin had like a little bit of oil buildup because there was water, well, not water, butter in the crumble, obviously. So I've never used a spring form pan, so I don't know if this is just going to be on the table when I take this out. Okay, I think I can just lift it. And the reason I didn't mention why they recommended a spring form pan, and it was because you don't want to have to tilt the cake over to get it out. I don't have like a cake plate though, like a real one. Mine is like janky. I'm just gonna cut it directly on this thing. It's very crumbly. This is what it looks like. I kind of want to warm it up a little bit. It's not really cold. It's not warm, so I kind of want to warm it up. I'm gonna give it literally 10 seconds. Also, I took off my makeup. It looked bad, so like, let's not. I feel like this looks much better. I should have just never put it on in the first place. But I like to put my best foot forward, so it's just like a little bit warm. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. It kind of tastes like a blueberry crunch muffin. It's very blue on the inside. It's not super sweet. Like if you don't like stuff that's so sweet, it's not super sweet at all. But it's still really good. It really tastes like just a blueberry muffin, like from Starbucks. I got a really buttery piece. And she mentioned you can eat this for breakfast. I think because it's not so sweet, that's why. I mean, it's pretty good. I do think maybe I have just like maybe a little too much crunch. Like I don't remember hers being so crunchy. I essentially just made a cake from scratch. Y'all saw me last year. I struggled to make a cake from mix. So if I had to rate it, I would give, okay, so I think I would need to rate it on a couple of things. I think if I had to rate it on like difficulty, was it easy? 10 being like it was really easy, 0 being like it was not easy at all. I would definitely give it like a 5. It was like medium hard to me, somebody who does not bake, like a beginner baker. And I wouldn't even call myself a beginner baker because I have no intentions of really learning how to bake. I just tried this recipe book for y'all, for people that are interested in learning. So I would say like if you're a true beginner, this is medium difficult. Now, if I was to do this again, it would be a lot easier, I think. And I also think that the pressure of recording a video does make things a little bit harder. because it's like navigating around the camera and it's a nerve-wracking situation. So maybe I'll give it a 6 out of 10. 10 being super easy, 0 being not easy at all. If I had to rate the taste of it, I would probably give it a 9 out of 10. It's not super duper sweet. I definitely think like if you like blueberry muffins, you will like this, which I've never met anybody that does not like blueberry muffins. Like blueberry muffins are a pretty universal muffin to love. So, I mean, it literally tastes like a blueberry crunch muffin from Starbucks. So I think if you like those, then you will like this. So I'll give it a, what did I say? 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8, 9 out of 10 on taste. I mean, it was an experience. I'm not a baker, and I'm honestly afraid to try every other recipe in her book. So I will probably be giving this book to my cousin. However, if you would like to see any more recipes out of this book, please let me know before I give the book to my cousin. I mean, if for y'all, I would rebuy it, or I would ask her, can I borrow it real quick so I can do a recipe. But yeah, I'm probably gonna give this book away because I'm not a baker. So there's that. And then so we usually go to my grandma's house on Sunday. I go sometimes I don't go. We went to my grandma's house on Sunday and I didn't know she was gonna have company over there, like more company than just us, like the people that usually go to her house on Sunday. But she had her like some of her cousins and stuff over. And I brought that cake. Y'all, I'm gonna just insert a picture. I'm gonna insert some of the opinions of people. I tried to get like a video footage, like just, I didn't have the camera in their face, but I was recording like kind of what they were saying about it. Everybody loved it. And then also I'm gonna insert a picture of what the cake looked like when I took it home. Mind you, this was all in the same day. It's the same day I baked it. I ate a slice from the video. I took it over there and it came back looking like this. Okay, so before I go to bed, I took this to my grandma's house. This is what came back. So yeah, I think they liked it. I don't know. Also this morning, I'm getting texts. Everybody's like, this was great with my morning coffee. Because that's another thing she says in her video. Like, you can drink it. I mean, you can eat it with like your morning coffee. You can eat it for breakfast. I ate some for breakfast. It was good to me. I think it tastes better the first day though. But a lot of people were telling me they liked it better the second day.
What you say about coffee? It's gonna be good with that coffee in the morning. Got some breakfast right there. I ain't got to worry about that. Get me a cup of coffee and a piece of that. That's good. You ought to try it.
With my 4 sausages. I ain't gonna lie. If you got a boo, I was gonna say your man, but baby, Pride Month just passed, so a boo, whatever your partner is, and you going to their mama house and you gotta bring something, bring this. But it's not too sweet at all. It's very light. It's fruity. If you trying to impress your boo's mama, that's not something I do. She ain't my mama. But if you care that much, this is what you want to make. For sure. The only thing I wish I would have done different, I wish I would have actually mixed the dry ingredients before adding the butter when I made the streusel. Like I think that the streusel could have came out a little bit better if I would have did that. And I wish I would have I wish I would have used a like something to crush the cornflakes, or I would have crushed them a little bit more, because there were some big pieces of cornflakes that just were not visually appealing. Like they didn't taste like anything, but I didn't like the way they looked. Like they weren't cute. If they were smaller, you wouldn't have been able to see it. But overall, the experience was great. Cleanup process was not bad. Especially, you have to remember I was recording the process. So I'm having to work around cameras and try to make sure I get the shot and all that. Half the time I'm still not getting the shot. So I make a mess when I'm in the kitchen and I'm trying to record. But I think if you're like a competent adult, you will not make a huge mess. And honestly, even though I made a mess, I was in and out of the kitchen. Like I was cleaned up when it was like maybe 10, 15 minutes into the baking process. Everything was cleaned up. So, and I have a dishwasher. So praise God for the dishwasher. I definitely recommend you guys checking out Claire. I personally like her recreates videos. She still does them on her own channel, but she's named it something different, I'm sure for legal reasons. But she still does that. So those are really interesting. I probably will not keep this cookbook. The only reason being, just because this dessert turned out good, I still don't like baking. Like I still don't want to bake. So there's no reason for me to hold on to this, knowing I probably will never bake another thing again. So I'm probably going to give it to my cousin because she likes this type of thing. So I'm probably going to give it to her. I really, really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make me feel good because I'm back, y'all. You don't have to, honestly. It's fine. I'm going to earn your trust again. So honestly, you should be mean to me until I show you that I'm deserving. of your love. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please let me know if there's a celebrity brand that you want to see me try. I've written down everything from every corner of everywhere, reality TV show, and like everywhere. So if you comment it, I probably already have it written down. But I am always taking new submissions. So let me know if there's a celebrity brand you want to see me try. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. Check the description box for all of the relevant links. And I will definitely see you guys in the next one. Bye.